So I had mentioned last one of these coding streams that I had finished processing through the backlog of requests I had taken, and I learned a lot by taking a lot of requests. However, one of the things I learned was that it was just too overwhelming. There are lots of requests, um, and at the rate that I do videos, the backlog can quickly fill up to a year or more's worth of work. And so I need a way to rate limit that. And I've been thinking about how to do that. And so here's the system that I'm setting up going forward. So when this video goes public, I will open up the taking of requests. I've been telling people that for now, request taking is paused. I'm not going to promise to get to any of them. The requests will be more like suggestions. And the suggestions will be collected. Right now, they're being collected in a Google Sheet, which you can see if you join the Discord. I don't want to put that link publicly because then that kind of invites anyone who stumbles by YouTube to sort of be destructive or whatever their impulse is. And then what we'll do is a variation of having something like a Patreon tier where you can make requests. But instead of doing something like that, which a lot of channels do, I want to make it so that each request has some like fundraising amount associated with it. There will be some amount of donations to the channel. Some of that will go toward the endowment for funding open source projects. Some of that will go toward just keeping the channel running. And I'm just going to take one request a month. On the last Friday of the month is the current goal, and the request with the most donations associated with it will be the request that's chosen. And the easiest way for now, while I don't have any infrastructure to track donations, the easiest way to indicate that you want to vote for something is if you're already a Patreon patron or a YouTube channel member, or I think that there's some sort of funding mechanism through Discord. Any of those mechanisms, when you just pop in a chat, ideally on Discord, what you're voting for, and make it clear to me somehow how to match that vote with, like, if you're on Patreon and maybe you have a different username, either send me a message on Patreon or send me a message in Discord and let me know what your Patreon username is so I can look that up. And then if you spend, if you're like at $5 a month on Patreon, those $5 will be split among the number of votes you have for that month. So if you vote for, five repos, I'll credit them each to $1. And so that will give a way of indicating how much interest there is in that repo, and also a way of supporting the channel. So that's that. People have also asked me if I will, since I was processing this backlog, people have asked me if I will jump something over the allow queue jumping, or to do people have asked me if they can just straight up pay me to look at a repo. I'm willing to do that, but I want to set the price so that doesn't happen a lot. And in particular, I don't want to get into a scheme where big companies are trying to get me to do to get eyeballs to their repos. So if you have something that is for whatever reason time sensitive and you want me to look at it, as of now, that will always be public. I'm not going to do private kind of consulting sessions. But if you want to jump the queue in that way, then I'm going to set the starting price to $512 per video. And then if I start getting too many of them, I'm going to ratchet that up pretty quickly, because I feel a bit like that is, I'm not unwilling to do it, but it's less about the spirit of what the show is supposed to be about, which is kind of a curated look at open source stuff. And so that's the announcements.